Hey Fisherman, Aqua Duelist here, and today I'm giving you guys this Legendary Fisherman Combat Star deck profile. Now I know I sound disappointed. Well, this was an idea a fan recommended to, or kind of thought up a little while ago, and I was able to get to do it. And this deck is bad. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, this deck is a 2. It's that bad. I get that E to 10 can search Legendary Fisherman, but the combat stars themselves don't really work with the deck, and we'll get into it as we do this deck profile and kind of explain why this doesn't really work out. But nonetheless, I still thought I'd do a deck profile on it in case you want to go down this route. There's just so many better things to play Legendary Fisherman with, and the combat stars with. Like, putting them together, they barely function. So, let's go ahead and jump into this. Now, first of all, we're playing 3 copies of Legendary Fisherman. We don't really need to explain the Fisherman on this channel, just because, I do a lot of Fisherman deck profiles and videos, so... Next off, we're playing 3 copies of Legendary Fisherman 2, and then 2 copies of Legendary Fisherman 3. Just the standard lineup. There's no need to change it in this deck. And then, of course, with it, we're not playing the Citadel Whale in this variant, but we are playing 3 Warrior of Atlantis still. Even though Legendary Ocean has kind of a, it clashes with the combat stars and being able to work with the Legendary Fishermen's. We still need it for the Legendary Fisherman engine. So now going off to the combat stars, we're playing 3 copies of Tenma, and what Tenma does is basically all of them say that if your opponent controls a monster, or since this one's light, if you control a Earth monster, or Earth monster, you can summon it without tributing, and the one Earth one basically says, light, vice versa there. And then with this one, you can special summon a Earth warrior, and if a warrior you control, it would be targeted by a effect, you can pay 500. Make this card lose 500 to negate it. And then we're playing 3 copies of Kaiki. This is honestly the best one. So if this one is special summoned, basically, you pay 500 life points, you get to fusion summon, and then this one, if it's in the graveyard, while you control a 5 or higher warrior during your opponent's turn, you get to special summon it, so you basically get to summon this on your opponent's turn and just fuse right there. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of like, the warrior stars are kind of reactive, so it's like this is a going second deck. And then Hayate is basically kind of like the parallel of Tenma here, where I said earlier, vice versa on it. If you control a light, you can summon this without tributing. You can special summon a light. And then this one makes it where if you're a monster you control will be targeted or a warrior monster you control will be targeted for an attack, you make it lose 500, basically negate the attack. It's not good. The only reason why we play him mostly is because he's the Earth attribute and he can summon Kaiki if we have it. I tried just playing Kaiki at one point to see if it was possible, and it's just not really. So yeah, you kind of gotta play the full package with these guys, which sucks. So that's it for these guys. They clash just because the reason why these guys clash is because Legendary Fisherman is just they're all water, and these specifically work with level 5 warriors who are light or Earth, or just light or Earth in general, or monsters in general. So it's like they're not really that good with Legendary Fisherman. And then Legendary Ocean makes them level 4, so you can't fuse off Legendary Fisherman's. It's not worth it. It's just a bad idea. Now, for the rest of the monsters, I'm playing 3 copies of King of the Swamp, because we need to be able to search Poly just in case. Like, I know we have Kaiki, but we still play a couple Polys, and this just can get to it. Then we're playing 1 copy of Dino Wrestler Pankratops because he's Earth, so there's that. And then we're playing 1 copy of Cyber Dragon because he's light that can special summon himself. Like I said, this is a going second deck, so these really do just kind of help with the combat stars. Now, going off to spells, we're playing 3 copies of Legendary Ocean, 3 copies of Feast of the Wild level 5, best card in the deck, playing 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More because, going second, this deck just can't really get through negates, so that's your best bet. Bless you, Hestia. Then we're playing 2 copies of Polymerization, 2 copies of Fusion Tag to help us go into Shura, 1 copy of Foolish Burial, and then 1 copy of Terraforming. Which, in case you're wondering why we play Terraform, the 1 Foolish Burial, it's mainly to get Kaiki in the graveyard. So, going to the extra deck, play 3 copies of E to 10. So, basically, when he's summoned, you get to add a level 5 warrior, which was the whole reason why this was, thought up. And basically, if he does battle quick effect, you can make your opponent's monsters attack 0. If it battles like a level monster of a lower level than it. So yeah, it's like already Link's kind of screwed a little bit. But and then he has a thing where basically you can discard cards from your hand and he gains 200 for each card discarded. Playing 2 copies of Shura, the combat star, which you need E to 10 to make, which is why we also play Fusion Tag. And then his thing is basically he can make the attack of all your opponent's monsters 0. And basically, I think it's like if he battles, he can make the opponent's monster gain attack equal to its level. Doesn't these guys didn't come up too much other than E to 10. I'm playing 1 copy of Chimera Tech because of Cyber Dragon. And here comes my cat Hestia. And then I'm also playing 1 copy of number 94, Crystal Zero, with the full armored Crystal Zero Lancer. Just in case, something for the Legendary Fisherman else to do. Like, it's pretty cool. Then I'm playing the Bahamut Shark Totally Awesome package. And then I'm also playing the Dreadnought Dreadnoid package, which is number 27 Dreadnought Dreadnoids. Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gusta Max. Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. And then 1 copy of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Libby. Reason why I still opt to play this is because with it's got some really cool synergy with Shura, which makes all your opponent's monsters 0. So if you manage to get this out with Shura, it's like you're in a really, really good position. So that's the extra deck, and honestly, I do kind of like the whole thing it's got going on this with Shura. So I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Like I said, this deck itself is just not that great. I personally would not recommend playing this particular variant, But if you really, want to, I mean, here you go. Here's a template. I hope it helps. But it's just better to play the decks, you know, their own way. Like, Legendary Fisherman with his stuff. And then there's just better cards to run the combat stars with. So I'd recommend going, like with down that route. So thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I do apologize for my cat Hestia jumping in there a little bit. And go ahead and harpoon that like button, harpoon that subscribe button, and go ahead and drop a comment if y'all got any comments. Thank y'all so much for watching.